This is your weekly review, and we're going to show you previews of what some upcoming classified series figures are expected to look like. First up, let's talk about G.I.JOE June. Hasbro will hold some events throughout the month of June starting on June 4th. They will announce and reveal some new figures, digital renders, name-only reveals, and we're also anticipating that they'll reveal the new G.I.JOE HasLab. As always, we'll have you covered all month long with all the newest reveals. In the meantime, be sure to check out our official preview episode of G.I.JOE June for all the latest news on what to expect. Next, we have previews of what some upcoming classified figures are expected to look like. And the first three come from the Skybound Comics series. Courtesy of Hasbro's G.I.JOE team, we can confirm that Nemesis Immortal has already been designed, painted, and is ready to present as a digital render whenever Hasbro decides to share it publicly. We expect that the digital render for Nemesis Immortal will be shared during G.I.JOE June. According to what we've learned from Hasbro, Nemesis Immortal is going to be very large and an imposing beast of a figure just like he was in G.I. Joe the movie. The Skybound series version of Nemesis Immortal features the standard purple, red, and silver color scheme, and his eyes are glowing yellow, so we'll have to wait and see if that's the case for the classified version. The Skybound Nemesis Immortal also has long purple gauntlets, red knee pads, and silver spikes shooting off both his shins and his gauntlets. The real question here is whether Nemesis Immortal will have articulated wings. Based on what we've seen from the classified series lately, the answer is likely yes, but we'll have to wait and see. In the Skybound Cobra Commander series, Nemesis Immortal is very large and very imposing with his wings spread out. If Nemesis Immortal ends up anything like what we're expecting, it might end up being an early frontrunner for Figure of the Year. Odds are very good that this will be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive deluxe set. And before we move on, we invite you to quickly do us a favor and smash that like button to show your support for the show and the work that we put into it. Next, over to Zandar. Last fall we told you that Zandar was on the way for classified, and shortly after, in December, Hasbro announced that Zandar was indeed part of the classified series pipeline. We can confirm that Zandar will likely be part of the first 4-figure wave in 2025. And assuming that Hasbro stays ahead of street dates, it's possible he might even be released in late 2024. But he will be a mainline release. In the Skybound comics, Zandar's look is retro-inspired with bright orange hair, red war paint on his cheeks, and red lightning bolts on his chest. His blue shoulder pads are very similar to the pink ones that Zarana wears, and this is how she appeared in the classified series. Meanwhile, Zandar's look is completed with a pink fabric tied into a neckerchief, a blue headband, brown gloves, grayish pants, a yellow belt, black boots, a shoulder holster, and a quiver on his back. This is exactly what fans should expect for the classified series. And he also appears taller than both Cobra Commander and the other Dreadnoks featured. We'll have to see if Hasbro maintains this height advantage for Zandar when he joins the classified series. There might be some reuse of an existing sniper rifle from another character. There are already a few existing options including Lowlight, Master of Disguise Zartan, Spirit, and Night Force Shooter. Nothing has been confirmed, but we're expecting a brand new rifle for Zandar, and he may also include a crossbow. Next, over to Mercer. We previously suggested that Mercer might end up looking exactly like his appearance in the Cobra Commander comics series. Mercer is not yet officially confirmed for the classified series so far, but there is reason to believe that he may be in the works for 2025. Meanwhile, Stalker, Destro, Zarana, Buzzer, Torch, and Major Blood all look exactly like their classified figures. Based on this, the Skybound Comics illustration might be our first image of what the classified series Mercer will look like. Of note, he's taller than both Destro and Cobra Commander. In fact, he towers over both. Mercer is wearing a crimson red vest with silver protective plating on his shoulders and down the side of his ribs. He's wearing silver plated gauntlets. This Mercer is part of Cobra. He has a crest with the letter M on his chest, whereas the Joe version of Mercer has a Cobra logo with a line crossed through it. Storyline-wise, Mercer was first a member of Cobra. He originally joined Cobra so that he could pursue a life of riches, but his morals and values clashed with Cobra's. Mercer was the only Cobra Viper who defected from Cobra and lived to tell the story. He hotwired a hydrofoil, escaped Cobra Island, and outran Cobra. He joined Sergeant Slaughter's Renegades and became a leader within G.I. Joe. A new Mercer narrative provides a great opportunity for storytelling, especially if the classified series has any connection to the new comics. Next over to Leatherneck, and this comes to us courtesy of Roel Robles. This is a great take on the rough and tough Marine, clad in camo gear and the two-tone green and tan vest. We'll maintain what we've said for months. The classified series Leatherneck will include reuse of a familiar M16 rifle equipped with the M203 grenade launcher. This will be reused from two other recent releases, the Cobra Valkyries 2-pack and the Snow Serpent. Next over to Dial Tone. Again, let's take a look at a digital render created by Roel Robles. This is a retro-inspired look for Dial Tone with a tan shirt, green vest, black gloves, black cargo pants, green knee pads, black and brown boots, and his signature beret. This is very close to what most collectors are hoping for. The weapons are standard for Dial Tone, and the star of the show is his trademark communications backpack. We have a lot of Dial Tone fans watching. If you're hoping that Dial Tone looks like this for classified, let us know in the comments below. Then over to Wetsuit, courtesy of Roel Robles. It's just a matter of time before Wetsuit joins classified, and he should look along the same lines as Torpedo, Cobra Eel, and the Action Sailor Recon Diver. It's very likely that Wetsuit will feature a lot of reuse from the other figures just mentioned, with the retro-inspired aquamarine, white, and orange color scheme. Wetsuit was recently featured on the Fans First Talk show as part of one of our top 10 wish lists. As we mentioned in that episode, the Action Sailor's accessories seem tailor-made for Wetsuit. If correct, this will fall in line with the trend that we've already seen with the Action Soldier's secondary gear being reused with Doc, and many of the Action Soldier's weapons being reused with Tiger Force Roadblock. It basically goes without saying that the Action Sailor was made in order to make other figures come to life, and this includes Wetsuit. Then over to Saw Viper, and this one comes courtesy of Stronox Custom Figures. The Saw Vipers are one of Cobra's most lethal soldiers. They serve as heavy machine gunners for Cobra, and they're trained in the use of the M249 Saw machine gun. We expect the classified series Saw Viper to feature reuse of Big Ben's M249, and this was also reused with the Action Soldier. The Saw Viper's distinctive uniform includes a heavily armored suit and helmet designed to protect him in the heat of battle, allowing him to operate effectively under heavy fire. Stronox Custom Figures is one of the best custom figure artists, and his version of Saw Viper is fairly loyal to a retro-inspired version, just made into classified style. This would make for a very popular troop builder. I'm not sure you can get a better looking Saw Viper than this, and the use of neon green here contrasts nicely with the purple, and the strap on the end of the gun is something that would be very welcome for classified to start incorporating sometime soon. If the Saw Viper is one of the upcoming figures that you're most excited about, let us know in the comments. Then next, over to the Walmart exclusive line with Night Force battling Cobra. According to the Hasbro team, the mole rats were supposed to be called Extracto Vipers. However, Hasbro did not give the G.I. Joe team clearance to use the name Extracto Viper, so instead, Hasbro decided to use the name Mole Rats because mole rats are known for digging. As we've covered in the past, the mole rats are Cobra's field engineers. This is the sole reason that they include a drill accessory. The idea here is that the mole rats use their drill to extract Dark Energon samples. As a result of exposure to the Dark Energon, storyline-wise, the mole rats turn into a zombie state and their wounds glow in the dark. In the Transformers universe, Dark Energon is the most toxic kind of Energon, and in the case of the mole rats, it's turned them into zombies. Let us know your thoughts on this. Would you prefer that the mole rats had just been called Extracto Vipers instead, or do you now like the name Mole Rat even more? Sticking with the Walmart exclusive line, let's jump over to the Night Force 2-pack. The Night Force 2-pack with Falcon is intended to drive the storyline that involves the mole rats. We have an entire episode detailing the story, the characters, what's happening, and where things are going, all with details directly from Hasbro. This confirms what we reported last month about a Night Force 2-pack coming to Walmart later this fall. Just days after we reported that, Hasbro confirmed it. Now Hasbro can go a couple of different directions here. They can include a new character with Falcon, and many characters would make sense, including Cesspool, Heat Viper, Toxo Viper, the Jungle Bat, or even Pythona, but a strong case could also be made for each of those characters to be released as standalone figures instead. So if that's the case, then we're most likely looking at a redeco of an existing figure. Based on the Mad Marauders 2-pack being redecos of Lowlight and Spirit, it seems more likely that Night Force Falcon will be paired with another return returning character as opposed to someone new. Don't be surprised if Night Force Falcon is paired up with a variant of Major Blood. We're not saying this will be the case, but the timing is right for a new Major Blood figure, and options are limited unless we're diving into a troop builder figure. Many collectors missed out on the Cobra Island Major Blood the first time around, especially those who live outside the US. Major Blood also makes a lot of sense for the retro card line. Let us know if you'd be interested in a Falcon and Major Blood 2-pack for the Night Force line, and if not Major Blood, then tell us who you'd want instead. Next, let's jump over to the retro card line. One of the next retro carded figures we're expecting for Classified is Roadblock. We expect this to be a redeco of the Heavy Artillery Roadblock figure, with the Ma Deuce Heavy Machine Gun, which is already part of the Action Soldier, Vamp, and Tiger Force Roadblock accessory kits. A retro carded Roadblock will be the 6th version of Roadblock for the Classified series. The first wave of Classified featured a modern take on version 2 Roadblock. Hasbro then issued a subsequent field variant with muted colors. In 2021, there was also the Cobra Island Roadblock. He had a different look and a big beard. Then there was Heavy Artillery Roadblock, and the upcoming Tiger Force Roadblock. Despite 5 figures joining the line so far, we've only seen 2 different faces for Roadblock with one little difference. The Tiger Force version reuses the same head sculpt as Heavy Artillery, with some new paint apps added. The head sculpt for Heavy Artillery Roadblock is definitely the superior one. But according to Hasbro, the intent behind Cobra Island Roadblock's appearance was to make him look like he's been on a secret mission on Cobra Island for a really long time. The Cobra Island head sculpt was supposed to be the same as the first Roadblock, but storyline-wise, he's on a long mission in the jungle, so it makes sense for him to have a big beard. Likewise, the bandana on Cobra Island Roadblock's head is inspired by his time as a chef, something like a bandana that a line cook might wear. This is also why he has the same weapons as the mainline Roadblock. It's the little details and storytelling that make the Classified series so appealing to collectors. The more stories that are told, the more interest there is. Hasbro would be wise to make an effort at enhancing the storylines of the Classified series even more. Using the G.I. Joe website would be an ideal platform for marketing the brand, which seems like an obvious thing to say, except Hasbro's G.I. Joe website has been a dead end for around a year or so, and it had already been largely untouched since the Classified series first began. But we want to know how you feel about this. As always, we want your takes in the comments section, and today's Viper Island question of the day is, do you want more storyline details about the characters, their surroundings, and the special missions they've been assigned to? And would you prefer details like this to be posted on the G.I. Joe website? Or is there a different way you'd like to see these details presented? Since the launch of Classified, collectors have been asking for real file cards just like the 80s and 90s packaging featured, and Hasbro has made it known that they are aware. Whatever your thoughts are on storylines, sound off in the comments below. My name is Liam. You can follow me on Instagram at Viper Island. For all things G.I. Joe, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the show, smash that like button. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!